world's greatest popular celebration is about to begin. From now on, life is spun out of dreams, wonder, and most of all, fun. Rich or poor, Brazilian or foreigners, it makes no difference. The same smile is on each and every face. Carefree, endless happiness. From every throat, a cry of joy and a song to move the dancing crowds, in costumes or with bare open arms to welcome the fun. Creativity and improvisation bring constant renewal and turn real life into a world of color where you can be anything, good or bad, pauper or prince, million or beggar, a happy Pierrot or a sad harlequin. And we all feel like the happiest people in the world. Who cares? It's Carnival. Being happy is everything in the Brazilian Carnival. Nowhere else in the world can you find this magic kingdom of irresistible excitement. The most fantastic feast in the world could only take place in Brazil, with its rich and diverse environment and its happy, creative people, a blend of many races. The starting point is Rio de Janeiro, a city sprawling between the seas and hills, magically shaped into such landmarks as the Sugarloaf and the Corcovado, topped by the statue of Christ. The natural setting for pleasure and fun. São Paulo, the most developed of Brazilian states, is also blessed with a string of beaches and a thriving, bustling capital city, as densely populated as some of its most modern foreign counterparts. The Brazilian Northeast boasts another two places steered into life by Carnival. In Bahia, gifts are offered up to the deities of fun and beauty. With its breathtaking beaches and historical monuments, Salvador has one of the liveliest street celebrations in Brazil. In Pernambuco, nature has different charms to offer. Its capital city, Recife, is known as the Brazilian Venice, and the historical slopes of Olinda set the scene for swarming carnival crowds. This is the multifaceted backdrop where the world's greatest carnival festivities are staged. Brazilians are a blend of several races. This melting pot has resulted in a lot of creative imagination, spontaneity, and enjoyment of life. The fun of Carnival overtakes Brazil from north to south. There's dancing to the sound of a number of popular rhythms. Frevo is typical of Recife and Olinda in Pernambuco, one of the best carnivals in Brazil. In Salvador, Bahia, the beat is provided by electric-wired trucks playing anything from the classics to the latest in contemporary music. Lambada is the rave of this year. The most traditional and best-known rhythm of Brazilian Carnival is the Samba beat that brings life to the big gala parade. The excitement of carnival ballrooms is stirred by full-scale or small bands playing old carnival tunes and some of the newest beats. Brazilians put rhythm into everything they do. Though only one language is spoken, Carnival takes on different tints in each region. In Rio de Janeiro, Carnival is simply everywhere. In the streets, in clubs, on the beaches, and in the Samba parade grounds. Out in the streets, mobs of happy faces, singly or in groups, convey the very soul of Carnival. Bands overtake the city streets by day. The Ipanema Band, formed by artists and intellectuals in 1965, is the oldest and best known. Men dressed as women and clowning types provide a touch of humor and sarcasm. Throughout the city, carnival groups stir both tourists and local fun lovers. Whether in costumes or not, the important thing is to move and sway to the hot beat. Most private clubs in Rio hold their own carnival balls. The ballrooms come to life and costumes are often quite skimpy. Yet there's another side to carnival in Rio to which we must be mere spectators. It's the famous costume contests. In either category, luxury or originality, they are impressive and dazzling. But the high point of Rio Carnival is the Samba School Parade. It's become such a major event that now the Samba schools have a permanent parade ground built specially for their show. This is it. Each school parades for about an hour, but they must prepare for it for a whole year. In these sheds, each school gets ready for the big day. Helpers and craftsmen work under the direction of a designer in charge of devising and developing the school's theme. The parade is also a contest. Each school is scored by a panel of experts on each individual item. The competition is fierce. They all hope to become the representative of Brazilian Carnival at home and abroad. Another concern is to escape disqualification and demotion to a lower ranking group. The schools themselves set the scoring rules. The theme is a story unfolded by the school as it parades. Evaluation is based on the idea and its development throughout the parade. Costumes are another item under judgment. Scores are assigned for originality and consistency with the theme. Floats and decorations make up a third item. They must be creative, consistent with the theme, and must not encumber the dancers. Theme song is one of the key items. Song and lyrics are evaluated here. The words must convey the theme story clearly and concisely. The music must be original and catchy, easy to sing and dance to. Another major item is percussion. Scoring takes into account its tempo and the strength of its beat. The combined effect of a samba school is also evaluated. This requires a perfect match between rhythm and singing by the performers as a whole. Parading progression involves several elements of the parade. Judges consider the pace of dancing in line with samba beat and percussion performance. The opening group is both mandatory and traditional. Its role is to introduce the school to the public and panel of judges. Scoring will depend on their costumes, posture, and creativity. The standard bearers also earn a score. The male courts and presents his female partner to the audience. She, in turn, shows off the school colors. These couples don't actually dance the samba, but rather do a sort of ballet to the samba beat. The Samba School Parade in Rio de Janeiro takes 2 full days. In the interval between these 2 days, we'll take a break to show the best of this carnival throughout Brazil. Everything is ready for the Great Samba School Parade of 1990. Samba School Parade of Rio de Janeiro is just beginning. The greatest celebration in the world starts off with Unidos de Cabo Sul on the grounds. It's a good performance for Cabo Sul, and its dancers managed to warm up the public for more to come. Its theme is, "Did I vote right for president?" The idea is to convey all the hardships, troubles, and humiliations inflicted on the Brazilian people over the past 25 years. As it parades, Cabo Sul shows how skillful Brazilians are at turning ugliness into beauty, sadness into sarcasm, pain into hope, all with a grain of salt and a lot of imagination. Cabo Sul manages to put on a fun and flowing parade with modest but creative costumes. Unidos de Cabo Sul uses this chance to demand protection for the Indians and ask the government to create the new ministries of plenty, nature, peace, and love. Though more modest than its competitors, the second school to parade, Santa Cruz, puts on a nice show. The theme is a tribute to the heroes of the resistance, a group of intellectuals and journalists who founded the underground weekly Pasquim. This paper was the only voice raised against the military dictatorship. With humor, tongue-in-cheek, and a lot of creativity, its writers bypassed censorship and criticized the regime. Costumes and floats depict the creators of Pasquim and the main characters used in cartoon strips to express the rebellion of a whole generation against its oppressors. lyrics of the Santa Cruz theme song recall those brave heroes and celebrate the new freedom gained in this reborn democracy. The enthusiasm of the performers is one of its strong points. Although Santa Cruz is a small samba school, its parade is impressive and attractive. Satire as a theme has been the trademark of Caprichosos e Pilares, the third school to come out. Since its rise to the main group, Pilares has earned the public support thanks to its critical themes and easy, catchy songs and lyrics. This year, Caprichosos brings the theme Mouthing Off. An attempt to describe what your mouth can do. From passion-kissing to vicious gossip, all the way to the loud yelling when a goal is scored in the game that stirs every Brazilian, soccer. But the creative story spun by Caprichosos e Pilares also shows that love words and wooing come straight from the mouth too. And as usual, political and social satire were not left out. In a reference to the economic troubles Brazil is going through, the theme song sarcastically says that no goodies ever get to the mouths of the people. The Samba School reminds our newly elected president that the masses are mouthing off in hopes of a better future. The floats shown by Caprichosos de Pilares are highly imaginative and set the scene for the school's theme. Its song is one of the best this year, sung by every performer to the strong beat of the percussion section. It's a free-flowing, happy parade to get the people on their feet and dancing. Vídeo Serrano is the fourth school to enter the parade grounds. Vídeo Serrano is one of the three Samba schools located in the suburb of Madureira, which is known as the birthplace of Samba. Vídeo Serrano started as an informal group called Prazer da Serrinha, named after the hill where its founding fathers lived. Its theme is Tales from Our History, the school's designer's view of Brazilian history from the arrival of the Portuguese conquerors through the blending of all three races, the white, the Indian, and the black. Vídeo Serrano's parade recalls the Dutch invasion and settlement of the hinterland thanks to the gold rush and precious stone miners. One of its most attractive sections describes how the three races became one. The Portuguese Diogo Alves fell in love with the Indian beauty Paraguaçu. According to Vídeo Serrano, out of their love came the first true Brazilian. Several different groups provide a striking visual effect as they parade their costumes and decorations. Another impressive section of the parade depicts the arrival of Dutch invaders and their settlements in the Brazilian Northeast. The song lyrics say Brazil was already Brazilian, and together the three races drove away the invaders. A parade of rare splendor, charm, and fun. The group of baianas lends a touch of magic and enchantment to Imperial's parade. Another highlight was a percussion whose tempo and beat gave a strong backing to the words sung by the performers. Luxury and good taste in the floats reflect the overall presentation of Império Serrano on Sunday. Another historical theme is brought to the parade grounds by Unidos de Vila Isabel. Unidos de Vila Isabel was formed in 1946 by the members of a soccer club, Vila Isabel Football Club. Ironically, 2 years ago, when the school won the Rio Carnival Championship, it has been evicted from its rehearsal grounds, a soccer field. That year's theme song claimed for a new home and for the end of apartheid. The school recounts the history of Brazil from the standpoint of the unfair distribution of land that persists in the country since its discovery. If This Land Were Mine is the theme title, and Vila Isabel arouses the stands with a stirring parade despite its strong political and critical undertones. The theme title is a line from a very old and popular Brazilian song. Vila Isabel starts its parade showing the Indians in their natural jungle habitat until they were enslaved by the Portuguese settlers. But soon the Portuguese too began to complain for lack of land. Only a few privileged individuals could afford to buy a piece of land. If This Land Were Mine was also the chant of black slaves brought in from Africa to work the land with blood, sweat, and tears. Galician costumes is a trademark of Vila Isabel. Once again, Vila Isabel shows that glitter is not everything. Grassroots, feeling and realism emerge as the high points of the concept developed. Close out the parade, the school leaves its message in the refrain, "If this land were mine." Still the sorry plea of those who love and work the Brazilian soil but remain landless. One of the most popular samba schools is Beija-Flor de Nilópolis, 6th in the parade. Beija-Flor de Nilópolis is an old samba school. It was founded on Christmas Eve, 1948. However, it was only in the 70s that it managed to join the group of major samba schools. It was an overnight success. Thanks to the themes developed by designer Joãozinho 30, it has taken the championship several times since then. Every year it manages to surprise the public. But luxury and refinement are not the only attraction. Beija-Flor has a kind of magic. This year's theme is "We are all born naked." The first floats and groups cause a major impact. Conveying the chaos before creation, special effects are used to enhance Beija-Flor's parading. Now it shows the first man on earth, totally naked and free from all evil or perversion. But then man starts to cover himself. 7 vampires, representing the capital sins, are depicted in allegorical style. Poisonous bite turns men into irrational creatures. This is one of the most attractive sections of Beija-Flor's performance. And just as the world is completely dominated by the 7 vampires, Brazil begins to emerge. The sleeping giant has been crushed by evil forces. enthusiasm of its performers, Beija-Flor conveys the message that soon this giant will rise to sing and dance before the Ark of Wisdom. The magic of Beija-Flor leaves with the audience a feeling that dream and hope together can come true, though perhaps only in the form of a carnival float. Its theme conveys the influence of medieval history, especially Charlemagne and his 12 peers of France, in Brazilian folk culture. This influence takes on many forms, like the congadas and cavalhadas, two local festivals. It is also found in Brazilian literature. The theme unfolds in the northeastern hinterland, where the king and his knights wage war against evil. The song lyrics make reference to the Middle Ages. The king and his knights turn the Samba parade grounds into a veritable hinterland. Another high point in Salgueiro's parade is the group of baianas, who lend a traditional grassroots touch to the Samba theme. The groups of baianas are traditional in Samba schools and date back to the early days. Floats manage to describe the theme with impressive elegance. Floats, no matter how big, may not be engine-driven nor pulled by draft animals. They must be pushed along by members of the community involved. Despite the hard work, they don't miss out on the fun. percussionists are among the best. Acadêmicos do Salgueiro was founded in 1953. It was known then as Unidos do Salgueiro and resulted from the union of 3 carnival groups active in the Salgueiro slum in the district of Tijuca. To step into the parade grounds this Sunday is Portela. Portela is one of the oldest samba schools in Rio de Janeiro. It was officially founded in 1935, bringing together several carnival groups already existing in the districts of Oswaldo Cruz and Madureira. It won its first championship in 1935, still under the name of Vai Como Pode. Since then, it has been collecting more and more awards. Silver and gold is the theme, and the school reveals the powerful cultural strength resulting from the merge of 3 races in Brazil. The white, the black, and the Indian have left their imprint on Brazilian folklore through their dancing, music, legends, and customs. Individual group portrays one facet of this cultural melting pot. Different sections show the Portuguese heritage of Christmas time and Epiphany, the Pastorinha pageant, and the June name day saints. The black contribution to Portela's parade includes the Maracatu Festival and Samba itself. The school also portrays the diversified regional lore, from São Paulo, typical June celebrations, and a masked ball. From Recife, the Maracatu and Frevo. The naive clay and wooden figurines of angels and saints made by northeastern craftsmen are another attraction. The Indian is present in Portela with legends about forest ghosts like the Saci, Curupira, and Caipora, passed on by word of mouth from generation to generation. The wide variety of topics gives Portela a free hand for an impressive parade. As the colors blend under daylight, They lend a unique shine and glitter to Portela's performance. The first day's parade is over. We'll take a break to see some highlights of Carnival in other Brazilian cities. The Samba schools are the highlight of Carnival festivities in the city of São Paulo. The dancers' enthusiasm and the rich costumes show us that Samba is a reality in the city. Fun and rhythm are the trademarks of Carnival in Pernambuco, especially in the neighboring cities of Recife and Olinda. The irreverent group Olinda Virgins inaugurate the festivities. Men dressed up as women just for fun, they assure us. Old dresses and skirts discarded by wives, girlfriends, or sisters set the tune, aided by the unlikely performance of the dancers. Another popular group is the Galo da Madrugada, the Cock of Dawn. No expenses are spared in preparing the floats, costumes, and the electric trios. The already worldwide famous lambada was a great and welcome novelty in this year's carnival. In the clubs and on the streets, the lambada was heard and danced everywhere. The city of Salvador, in the state of Bahia, is the birthplace of the electric trios. Tradition has it that if you're alive, you dance when it passes. And the people here show they're quite alive. Another tradition is the performance of the African groups. Visitors and natives are always enchanted by the historical setting and the untouched Afro rhythm. The Afoxé group, Filhos de Gandhi, Gandhi's sons, is here to salute and participate in one of the most traditional carnival festivities in Brazil. Rio de Janeiro is carnival itself. There is fun and merriment for all tastes. The costume contests, where originality and richness count, are a major attraction in the clubs. At night, these clubs receive thousands of joyous dancers. The heat and the beat get everyone off the seat. And wearing these costumes, the ladies can't cheat. The result is quite neat. The dancing stops only when they're all exhausted, though they still ask for more. Have fun everywhere. The costumes are a merry note. The funnier, the better. Gentlemen dress up as ladies, and this is carnival. Fun for fun's sake. Day and night, Rio lived one of its best carnivals ever. This is the second day of the main Samba School parade in Rio de Janeiro. is Lins Imperial. Madame Satin is the theme through which Lins Imperial tries to tell the story of old Lapa district, known in Rio for its nightlife and underworld characters. But Lins Imperial sees another kind of world in Bohemian Lapa. Its bars, nightclubs, streets and back alleys were the stage for men in silk shirts and straw hats. The days of strutting city slicks, but no violence. During its golden years, old Lapa was teeming day and night with men around its gambling tables and the lovely local ladies. Some of its characters were known all over Brazil. They were sharp con men, and one of the best known called himself Madame Satin. But Lins Imperial shows that Lapa was also the stomping grounds of famous artists, popular singers, and songwriters who sought inspiration there. Lins Imperial puts on a great show, turning the parade grounds into a time tunnel and bringing back to life the whole ambience of old Lapa. Samba school of the Beach District, São Clemente is off to a good start. It brings sharp but funny criticism against the changes of Samba school parades over the past few years. The theme says that Samba has gone off the tracks and changed so much that the schools have strayed from the roots and traditions from São Clemente's viewpoint. Some of the negative changes have been nylon instead of animal hides in the percussion section, alienation of the poorer school members who can't afford the price of a costume. Samba schools are gradually being taken over by the middle class. Though highly critical, the theme song is fun. According to São Clemente, Carnival is now just a business and turns people away from the long-standing tradition. The floats and groups parade enthusiastically and with feeling. Each section of the school raises its voice against the status quo. The parade grounds overrun by outsiders who interfere with the school's parading. The electronic sound of the percussion, and last but not least, the high ticket prices that the poorer fans cannot afford. Selection of the theme song is now like a war exercise, an army of Rambo-like songwriters competing fiercely to win. Not even Even the standard bearers were spared the sharp tongue of São Clemente. Now they are stars who trade schools just to make more money, like wind-up dolls. São Clemente concludes its parade with a message. Samba went off the tracks when it discarded its roots to become big business, except in the hearts of the people and Samba fans, who are, after all, the makers of Carnival. One of the most traditional samba schools in Rio de Janeiro is Mangueira, third on the parade grounds tonight. In fact, the second oldest, dating back to 1929. A group of samba makers and fans known as arengueiros joined other similar groups of slum dwellers to form a samba school. In 1932, 3 years after its formal foundation, Mangueira placed first in a competition which was not yet an official city celebration as it is today. Its imaginative theme is the folly of Baroque. Mangueira tells the story of Ouro Preto in Minas Gerais with its monuments and cultural heritage. But the tale unfolded by Mangueira is seen from the eyes of an intriguing character who lived in Ouro Preto, Dona Olimpia. This paper picker used to tell old tales to locals and visitors alike and became a legend in her town. Old Olimpia was the soul of Ouro Preto. In her sweet madness, she would spin tales and legends born of her own imagination, walking along the hills and narrow town streets. As Mangueira tells it, Olimpia achieved the greatest freedom anyone could hope for, freedom from all prejudice. With the members of its old god, Mangueira gives an account of Ouro Preto life and its illustrious resident who died a few years back. Scenes of Ouro Preto are portrayed in each float, and the percussion section provides a strong backup for the catchy theme song in tribute to Ouro Preto and Old Olimpia. Baianas is something to see, as are the two standard bearers. regatta on parade is always a thrill. Mocidade Independente de Padre Miguel brings its theme, Turn, Turn, Mocidade is here. A journey through the school's development and tribute to some of its personalities now deceased. Luxury, good taste, a lot of feeling and enthusiasm are the main ingredients offered by Mocidade. Mocidade Independente de Padre Miguel was founded in 1955 by the players and managers of a soccer team formed in the worker suburb called Padre Miguel. The percussion group is emphasized because the theme song recalls the unforgettable André, who turned Mocidade's rhythm section into the number one among its peers from the very start. And the performers sing it proudly and happily. Mocidade Independente de Padre Miguel is one of the bigger samba schools of Rio de Janeiro. Exquisite costumes are another trademark of this school. Baianas and their typical choreography add grace to the parade. The floats depict some turning points in the school's career, as well as in the arts and life habits in general. Mocidade carries its theme with feeling and style. brings another historical theme to the Samba grounds. Langsdorff, Ecstasy on Parade, tells the story of a scientific expedition ordered by Russian Tsar Alexander I to explore the Brazilian hinterland early in the 18th century. Estácio de Sá was the pioneer samba school of Rio de Janeiro. It emerged in 1928 under the funny name of Gossiping Neighbors in the slum known as São Carlos. In those days, samba fans who got together to play and sing at hilltops or in suburban streets were chased and arrested by the police. Samba was illegal, and anyone involved had to hide from the cops as if they were criminals. But most of them put up a fight, and now samba is the best known product of Brazilian culture. The first groups and floats hint at the great parade still ahead. The theme song recalls the findings of Baron Langsdorff, such as tropical wildlife and precious ores, as well as Indian legends and lore. Such wonders have no equal, goes the refrain, singing praise to the wealth and natural attractions of Brazil. Estácio de Sá is known for its stylish costumes, which creatively convey each theme they present. Is a special part of the show put on by Estácio. The school boasts a number of skilled dancers moving freely to the samba beat. As it sweeps by in bright colors, Estácio de Sá brings ecstasy to a delighted audience. The strong song is backed by its fantastic percussionists, making for a uniquely attractive parade. Imperatriz Leopoldinense comes into the parade grounds to face a challenge. It was last year's champion. Its theme is Terra Brasilis, where everything grows. Along the same lines as its previous theme, this is history with a touch of humor, in the style of its designer. The opening group, dressed in expensive costumes, gives us an idea of what's to come. floats show the careful and refined work involved. Imperatriz has one of the best theme songs. Its lyrics describe Brazil as a mulatto country where blacks and whites mix with the native Indians to shape a colorful people. The percussion group is something else. Parts of its parade shows Indians doing typical dances and working in harmony with their environment. The section portraying the blacks is equally impressive and rich. Costumes and a lot of gusto, Imperatriz brings color to the Samba parade grounds, as its theme song suggests. Da Tijuca also has a historical theme, but their approach is slightly different. Borel discovered the navigators, tells how Brazil was discovered. Borel is the slum where Unidos da Tijuca has its home. The theme emphasizes the importance of that community. Floats and costumes are designed to give a historical account, starting with the early days of Portugal as a nation, moving through the late Middle Ages, the Crusades, and the drive of Portuguese navigators. To the strong beat of Unidos da Tijuca's percussionists, major medieval personalities, Portuguese navigators, are brought to the 20th century. song adds some humor and mentions two important Portuguese contributions to our eating habits: wine and codfish. Blacks are also remembered for their cultural contribution, particularly the Samba beat. As Unido da Tijuca tells it, the Portuguese arrived in Brazil swinging to the samba. After all, Carnival is a free-for-all, and having fun is what counts. To parade in 1990 is União da Ilha do Governador. This year, it pays a tribute to one of the most important carnival designers of all times, Joãozinho 30. Now with Beija-Flor, for which he has won the competition 5 times, he started with Salgueiro, where he was also a 2-time winner. Dreams, João, is the theme title. União da Ilha brings us Joãozinho 30's hometown, its legends and tales. The opening group wears typical costumes of a local festival, the Bumba Meu Boi. As the parade progresses, União da Ilha shows all the main themes created and developed by Joãozinho 30 for the 2 samba schools he has worked with. Group adds more to the refined and appealing visual ensemble. The King of France in the Haunted Island and King Solomon's Mines are 2 winning themes developed by Joãozinho 30 for Acadêmicos do Salgueiro. The other parade sections recall themes designed by Joãozinho 30 for Beija-Flor: Dream of Kings, Bet on the Lion, Granny and the King of Saturnalia in the Egyptian court. Creation of the world in the Nago tradition, the midnight sun and the constellation of black stars. A star himself, Joãozinho 30 gets a well-deserved tribute from União da Ilha. In a single parade, the public gets a chance to see all the great shows put on by Joãozinho 30 to boost his samba school to the #1 spot. It is a collage of some of the best in past carnivals. The theme is catchy and helps the performers move along. Trash thrown everywhere. Slow way back home. The costumes and rags, they're all signs that the party's over. Carnival. The dream never ends. Not for a carnival lover. Ash Wednesday is just a break. Tomorrow he'll be up and happiness will ring the tune.